no livelihood and no money.
Sorry to hear that.
But it's not that bad. Every now and then I meet someone who gives me a groschen, and then I'm good for the evening.
Your frankness is refreshing. Maybe I can dig out a few coins here.
Thank you for your generosity. May the Lord reward you. I will drink to your health and raise an ale to your cause.
You silly doggy.
Whoa!
What?
Praise the Lord.
Good day.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, you pooch. Greetings, my friend.
You must be Zinnek. Am I right?
Who's asking?
Crazel sent me. He wants me to get the document they took from you at the rat house.
Well, good luck with that, brother in the trade. They took it from me with all the stolen stuff because they thought it was part of the loot. I told them I had it before I robbed that merchant, but they wouldn't listen. They locked it all in a chest full of other stolen things in the rat house jail. You can get there from the courtyard behind the rat house, right under the guardhouse. Or you can get there from behind the tavern, alongside the fence. As soon as you find the stairs leading down, you'll know you're in the right place.
Who has the key to the chest?
Well, actually I had one, but when the guard shook me down, I must have dropped it. It was in the chamber next door to the one with the chest. They've got a pretty soft bed in there, I tell you. The key must have fallen under it.
Is that the only key?
No, of course not. Almost every guard in Troskovitz has one. Take it from one of them who's got his back turned. Or one who snuck off somewhere for a nap.
I'll keep it in mind. Thanks.
Wait, before you go, you do know how to pickpocket, right?
I'm still learning.
Talk to Crazel, then. He taught me everything I know. Take care.
Willst du Schuft? Sprich oder geh.
Show me your wares.
I'd like to do something about that price.
Was soll's? Warum nicht? Why? You'll convince me with that price? You, and take care.
You dob me in.
Are you crazy? Why would I dob you in?
Look, Prophet. Good day. I apologize.
Go sniff somewhere else. You better call back.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I was just visited by one of the local peasants. Said he found more fresh graves behind his field, just below the village, along the road to Nabokov.
I've seen those. You talk like this isn't the first time.
But we found someone buried here. Don't even ask. I've been digging up bodies ever since that bandit gang started running rampant. Most of them are von Burgo's men. And that's about it.
That sounds interesting. Thank you.
Get out! There. Now keep him at your side.
Here you go. Take it.
I'll be with you.
The offer of Hermes Trismegistos. That's Krazel's document.
That's out.
Hey, you're not allowed here.
Correct. Nightcrawler.
Good day.
Good morning to you.
How about some more advice on sneaking around in Troskowitz?
You've come to the right man. As clumsy as a blind dog and about as inconspicuous as a cow at a banquet table. You've got a lot to learn.
I focus mainly on my diplomacy skills.
Talking your way out of a bad situation can definitely come in handy. But who knows if you'll be able to reach the end of your journey without drawing your sword or sneaking around. What do you want to know? I'll try to explain it as simply as I can.
What should I wear to be inconspicuous?
Something dark and drab would be best. It won't exactly command respect, but at least people won't pay you much attention. Who'd notice someone so shoddily dressed? Just don't go wearing fancy clothes around tramps or shoddy rags around nobles. You have to be like a ghost that nobody knows about. Ghosts shouldn't get their hands dirty, or bloody for that matter.
I've been known to be a bit noisy. How do I stay quiet?
Only a fool goes robbing in full armor. Better to take off your chainmail before you go climbing through someone else's window. And tread lightly. Not only will you not make a racket, just might hear the fellow in the other room get up to take a piss.
A weapon in hand won't do me much good, but I feel more confident with it.
Seems like everyone does nowadays. But if you're not looking to draw attention, a dagger in your belt will do just fine. All you need in your hand is a lockpick and a bag for valuables. But best to keep your hands free. If you get caught where you're not supposed to, neither a dagger nor a lockpick in hand will look too good.
How should I handle light properly?
Most guards and people you meet at night are either blind or drunk. Night is your friend. Stick to where the light doesn't shine. Dark clothing help out as well. And only a complete idiot doesn't put away their torch while robbing. And if you know how, brew yourself a Nighthawk. It tastes like piss, but it'll help you see better and keep you from being seen.
How should I plan a robbery?
Most people have the same routine every day. Pay attention to people's behavior. Who goes where? Which way? They rest. When they go to bed. When are they usually drunk? When you get to know your victim, you'll know when they'll be home, when they won't. Where you're sneaking into someone's house. Try a back window. Don't go for the front door.
That's all. Thanks for the advice. I have that document from the rat house for you.
Excellent. I knew I could count on you.
I took a look at the document. I couldn't really make much of it. Who's this Hermes Trismegistos?
My fifth cousin. We write to each other sometimes.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
Did you find my family tree at the rat house, too? Now show it to me, so I can finally get the knowledge. Good. Good. This will come in handy. Ah, yes. Of course.
What now?
That much? Going to need more. A lot more.
Did you hear me? What now?
Sorry. I got lost in thought. I owe you my thanks as well as reward for getting me the document. And maybe another little job? What do you say?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. I need to get to that wedding in Semine.
Don't worry. Your path is leading that way. Only it'll be a little longer than expected.
Another miller's trick. Why doesn't that surprise me?
Oh, now, there's no trick. I promised I'd get you into that wedding. You'll just have to put in a bit more effort first. Besides, things are about to get really interesting. Step by step, we're moving closer to the great revelation.
Enough. I'm sick of listening to your cryptic blabbering. Supposing you first initiate me into the mysteries of your enchanting mill. This isn't any run-of-the-mill business. I smell something devilish here.
Devilish? Not at all. It's high learning. Alchemy! And when I say alchemy, I mean real alchemy. Not some hocus-pocus brewing of potions for creaky joints and bellyache.
Tell me more about it, then. Maybe I'll learn something useful.
I wouldn't be so sure. But I've taken you on as an apprentice, so I might as well tell you something. Now, pay close attention. I want to make a golem out of dough. Then Using secret alchemical practices and theurgy, bring him to life.
Golem? What's that?
A golem is a helper brought to life using divine words. A living statue endowed with massive strength. Be made of clay, wood, stone, basically anything. I'll make one out of flour. Studying the Jewish Kabbals taught me a practice known as Maseh Bereshit. A mystic can use it to imitate the work of God. Just imagine. You know how helpful a golem would be at the mill? Carrying sacks, pulling wagons, standing guard. He wouldn't be much smarter than Zinnik. Have the strength of 10 men.
My word. That sounds incredible. I have to see it.
So far, it's just all in my head. But if you're patient and help me, you'll see soon enough. It's in the interest of the advancement and prosperity of mankind. Just look at the Bible. Moses could command the waters and speak to God through the element of fire. Jesus brought the dead back to life. I've no doubt that if our great Holy Mother Church had been around at the time, they'd have crucified Jesus the same as the Pharisees. All the apostles would have been burned at the stake.
So a golem, say, made of flour? For the good of mankind?
Exactly!
And what about the good of me? You promised me a reward.
You already know that you can learn the practical application of certain useful skills from me. But for a few groschen, we could discuss the art on a more, let's say, theoretical level.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Supposing you give me a few groschen first, as a reward for bringing you the document, and then I'll decide whether to trade the coin for some learning.
Oh, see now? I completely forgot. Here you go. So you don't go around saying that Miller Crazel is a pinch purse. I added in what I owe for those sacks you carried. And if you want some more work, there's plenty.
I don't know, Crazel. Alchemy, golems, documents in locked chests. I reckon I've had enough. I'll have to think about whether I want to continue with this art of yours.
I get it. Greater good of mankind isn't everyone's goal. But don't forget, I can get you to that wedding. Miller's honor. Take care.
What's this next job all about?
I need to find a saltpeter pit.
Never a wasted word, eh, Crazel?
Short and to the point. That's my credo.
And how long will it take before you tell me what a saltpeter pit is?
A saltpeter pit is a pit in which saltpeter is formed.
This has something to do with the alchemy of yours, eh? Don't know much about that stuff.
Nitra is saltpeter. White crystals similar to salt.
And what needs salting here in the mill? Or is it supposed to be some peculiar Crazel wedding gift for young Semine?
Nothing of the sort. The Kabbalistic doctrine speaks of saltpeter as a vessel for the inexhaustible essence of life. Those white crystals are said to contain the very essence of being. That's precisely what we need to give life to our golem. Thanks to the ingredients from Hermes Trismegistos, his feet will never get tired and his fists will have the power to smash rocks. But saltpeter is the most important thing. Saltpeter will be the golem's heart.
So you're serious about this golem? And are you certain it'll work out?
Certainly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even try.
How much saltpeter will it take to bring to life such a big creature?
A lot. That's why I want you to find me a decent saltpeter pit. Do you understand?
I was hoping I'd learn something useful from you. But instead, you're making me wander around the countryside looking for some pit.
Well, you never know when an experience like that might come in handy.
All right, then. I'll look around for that saltpeter pit of yours. I just hope you know where to look, that you can point me in the right direction, and also that you'll get me into that wedding as a reward.
Yes, yes, and yes. Bonnie has a lead. She's a damned handy girl to have around. She can do anything you ask of her. But for you, the most important thing is that she knows how to look for Niter, or saltpeter if you prefer.
So this Bonnie is some kind of witch who's in on this golem stuff.
Bonnie is someone I trust without question, and you should too. Not only will she teach you how to find saltpeter, but also how to differentiate it from common salt. The main difference is it has kind of cooling taste.
Hold your horses. You want me to taste that nasty stuff?
If you don't taste it, you could confuse it with some nasty rot. You don't want that.
Damn right.
Don't be such a lily liver, Henry. If Bonnie can taste saltpeter, so can you. She'll tell you the rest herself. You'll find her in the lair. That's a secret storage space I have here just by the pond. Only my best people can get in.
You have a secret storage space? You're full of surprises, Crazel.
What's so surprising about that?
Well, actually, it makes sense. I reckon you can't just make a golem in the mill. So how do I get to this lair?
There's a bridge over the mill stream towards the southwest. Take the path to the left, just behind it along the pond. From that path, you turn right, uphill, between the rocks, and you'll find yourself right in front of the lair. You can't miss it. Oh, and so I don't forget, you could pick some herbs along the way to see Bonnie. It would make her very happy. She's just been through some tough times. Her dog died, and on top of that, she has to spend time with that blabbermouth, Zinnik. On the other hand, Zinnik might be holding his tongue for a while after his encounter with the Troskowitz stocks.
Bonnie spends time with Zinnik. She may want some spirits rather than herbs.
Bonnie? Never. Being a decent Christian, she avoids alcohol like the plague. Run along, so you're back as soon as possible.
To the lair.
You soon, my friend.
You seem like a reasonably educated...
Where are you going with...
Well, I reckon you know some interest if you share them with me.
Glad you know what you're getting. Are you interested in the theory?
That's a bit too fast.
I have no...
I'll be happy.
All right. Throw in a few coins.
Talk about...
We've been through... Let's start with the importance of the... Let's get to work.
Yes.
Come here. Whoa!
Good day.
Why do you work for the miller?
Well, how can I put it? Anywhere else, they'd have kicked me out by now. The miller's the last person who'd still give me a job. He says every idiot is of some use at least.
And you see that as a compliment?
I see a coin in my hand every week. That's all I care about.
What do you think of Crazel?
Is this some kind of test or what? I can think what I want and I keep my opinion to myself. And you ought to do the same.
Long time no see, eh?
Crazel gave you enough.
Yeah. I proved myself to him last time, so why not continue our collaboration?
Did you come here to make fun of me? Just like Bonnie? As soon as she showed up, she gave me hell over that manuscript.
Not at all. I just need to find out something only you would know. So, Zinek, have you any experience with saltpeter?
Oh, I never want to see that shit again. I still have the taste of it in my mouth. And Bonnie and me was taking turns tasting it.
Weren't you afraid a dead soul would enter you through it?
What? What are you babbling about?
Dead souls pass time in niter crystals, don't they? That's why the miller is looking for them. To bring the golem to life.
You fool! We're looking for saltpeter to sell to butchers for salting meat. There's good coin in it.
Well, the miller told me something different.
You can't believe everything he says. A golem in the mill. He's yanking your pizzle.
You're all just trying to confuse me.
Hazel's a good teacher. You know how it is.
What can you tell me about...
Well, you mean Cheeks or Jezebel?
Are those nicknames?
Dunger, Snowdrop, Vixen... We always come up with the stupidest names, and nobody sees through them anyway. Bonnie's been here the longest, and has the most experience. I'm surprised she still puts up with Crazel and his mad notions. And I think she likes animals more than people. When I try to talk to her about work or weather, she gets bored.
What sort of place is this?
Our secret place, where we can quietly plot sneaky plans for our beloved Miller.
Behind that boarded-up door? What's inside that cliff?
You know, storage, rubbish, rats, filth. Look, I know Bonnie ordered me to clean up in there. Thanks to you, I'm sure the movement of goods will start again soon. So it'd probably be good to have some order around here. I just haven't got round to it yet.
Zinek, I have a few questions about the saltpeter pit we're looking for.
So now you need me, eh? Take care.
Lord be with you.
I'm Henry, Miller Crazel's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit. Said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? Name I hear often.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you?
Henry's fine.
Well, it's not very creative. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. Did you bring me something from the mill?
Actually, Crazel said you'd appreciate some herbs.
He's right there. Do you have some for me?
I've got something here.
My word, that's exactly what I need. The ingredients for the magic ritual.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
I think it's all a load of shit.
Some hocus pocus to cover up shameless robbery.
Well, now. So you're a bailiff's man and you're on our trail?
No. It's just I'm not as naive as you seem to think.
Look out! Behind you!
What?
Just testing how alert you are. You know, if a golem punches you, you won't... get up again, whether you're naive or not. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep you.
No. I have plenty of time. Where to start?
You know what? I'll start. When they caught Zineg in Troskowitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zineg and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. So I'm glad the miller's finally found a normal hand for once. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name?
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
Belonged to this girl I knew, Teresa. Saved my life in my hometown, Skalitz. To bury my parents.
Well, that's what I call an interesting past. I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore.
He died.
He started getting these lumps all over his body, stopped eating, just slept all the time. And then, well, what's done is done. And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
No. Pa was a blacksmith. I inherited something from him, I hope.
Oh, really? Would you teach me how to make, maybe, barrel hoops?
Those are pretty hard. Wouldn't you rather start with, maybe nails?
Sure. I'm pretty quick to learn and patient. That is one exception. When Crazel starts spouting off his alchemy theories, I'd rather run for the hills. What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
Know what to say to that. I still don't know him all that well.
I understand. Best not to bite the hand that feeds you for no good reason. Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. But now, about that saltpeter. Before you came, and before Zineg fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place, mainly in sties. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests, just in case. You know. Anyhow, now all the sties in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter.
Barrel isn't much.
But we did bloody thorough job. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least 6 times as much.
6 times? Will one saltpeter pit be enough?
I reckon so. There should be as much as Crazel needs for his masterwork. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
No, don't. Crazel, of course, didn't tell me shit.
Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave. The best natural saltpeter maker.
Crazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from dead bodies, but how do you get it from shit?
Gods, mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's nonsense, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue.
Jesus. And you know where to look for such a pit full of carcasses, do you?
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a gold, a saltpeter mine.
You mean a knacker?
Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the gravedigger.
Oh, I haven't met him yet. Where can I find him?
The cemetery is beyond Troskovitz, towards the Apollonia rocks.
Oh, I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun. And pretty useful experience. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskovitz butcher.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of luck, Henry.
I heard you could teach me something.
For a few groschen, it won't be a problem. And what would you like?
I'd like to learn how to not cause a stir in a crowd.
Thanks. I'll teach you one trick, but it'll take time to learn it. A kind master, hey, doggy?
Who are you?
Do you not recognize a wayfarer when you see one, young fella?
Of course I do.
I understand, though.
Exactly.
My itch. I wonder, while we're at it, you want to buy anything? I might have some.
I'd like to discuss the price.
All right, I'm listening. Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Great. Come back anytime, friend.
Gah! 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 Gah!
You'll have the truth. We've survived drought. We've survived floods. Come on, Margaret.
Greetings. I'll be. What can I do for you?
What do you... I'd like to do something about that price.
Well, suppose we can try.
You accept?
Look, offer a bit more and we can make a deal. Aye, you'll convince me with that price. Hope you'll be satisfied, my friend.
Here, mutt. Look what I have for you.
What would you like?
I'll have a look at the wares. I'd like to discuss the price.
Sure. Finally! Doing business. Take care.
Go!
God bless.
I'm Henry. And you must be the local gravedigger, right?
Ignatius, master of the sod, at your service. Looking for a final resting place? You need to bury a dead goat? Or are you tired of life and need a noose?
None of those things. I was just passing by. What's new around here? You must know of every dead soul.
The living and the dead. I could write a book about it if I knew how. Or if the scribe in Troskovitz was in a mood to listen to me for longer than one afternoon.
You know what happened with the bodies from near the pond? Pankart, Conrad.
Who?
Well, wouldn't know their names. A couple of soldiers that fell there. Where are they buried?
Oh, I remember them. They all ended up in a pit together right by the cemetery. All I got was a yellow waffen rock for the effort. Getting them out of there was a grind. They was well fed. You could tell right away they was from better parts than this here county.
Right. We're a long way from home.
Not to worry. Earth is earth, wherever it is.
Are you and the herb woman related? You both look... oh, really old.
We're not related. We both got some years behind us, and we're both unclean in our own ways. That's all we have in common. Different herb women came to me from time to time for hangman's nooses or nails from the gallows. What they do with them is their own business. I'm just a trader. But Bozhena ain't like the others. She's an honest herb woman who only heals with herbs and prayers. Do you know why they chased her out of town?
I don't.
Well, I'm not the one who should be telling you. But I'll tell you one thing. There's a place called Limbus Puerorum. Make sure you never send anyone there. Not even by accident. That's all I'll say on the matter.
I'll keep it in mind. You heard any news?
There's something new every day. Death roams the...
How's life treating you, Ignatius?
Come to think of it, the only thing that pisses me off is that once I kick the bucket, the shoemaker's children, go barefooted. All the young folks these days care about is making coin. Nobody's interested in the...
You got a big cemetery here. Pretty nice, too.
Ain't it? But being the gravedigger, I'll never have a place of my own here. They'll throw me by the wall like a dog and bury me without ceremony. But when I'm dead, I won't care. If it was up to me, I'd even bury the suicides in Halifax. We're all equal before death and the Lord. This game of better and worse places of final rest don't count for nothing.
What's the story with the dead people?
A story? They're dead. What more is there to tell?
But you said there's been a lot of people dying around here recently, right?
Well, it ain't usual for people to get offed by the cartload out here in the sticks, if you ask me. What do you reckon?
Dunno. You thought about it that way?
That might be the reason, then, eh?
What?
Look, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of people dying. If things keep up like this, I'll be out of work in no time. There'll be no one left to bury.
Being a gravedigger must be a lonely job, eh? What are your duties?
Funny a young lad like you is so interested in grave digging. Not something you see every day.
Well, I'm only asking. No real reason.
That figures. Youngsters these days wouldn't know hard work if it bit 'em on the arse. It's no wonder I can't find any help.
Are you offering me a job?
No. I'm giving you a warning. You ain't cut out for this trade.
How do you know that?
You've got that look. I can spot it a mile away.
Could you be more specific?
You just aren't cut out for it, and that's that. A gravedigger needs passion. A sense of duty ain't enough. It's a service, a labour of love, and the meaning of life all in one, lad.
I'm not from these parts, and I've seen a few conciliation crosses around here. What do they mean?
Same as where you come from, I reckon. They mark spots where the sins of man came to be regretted later.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Aye, like when a fella buries an axe in someone's head over something stupid and then comes to regret it. Or if the law sees to it that he regrets it. The sinner then has to... to erect a conciliation cross to mark the site of his evil deed.
Where does he get the cross from?
Where do you think? From me.
You're in charge of that too? Stone cutting?
I know how to cut a cross out of stone. And what of it? With the soft sandstone around here, it's child's play.
So they're all your work?
I wish. I've only sold 2 or 3 recently. Most of these here are right old. You might find a few stories about them in the village chronicle what's kept at the rat house. All I know is a young fellow once jumped off the cliffs near Takoff, and folks say the place is cursed.
Do you know any more stories?
Aye, I do, but I'm not telling you any. I'm not an old fishwife.
But seriously, Ignatius, tell me about yourself.
Gravedigger, knacker, snorter's constant companion, and lover of colourful sunsets, all in one man.
You've nearly got more titles than the Emperor himself.
Well, I have been doing it for almost 40 years now. The bailiff pays me well, in coin and sometimes in goods.
Sounds appealing.
Not all that glitters is gold, lad. A gravedigger's got it hard. So does a knacker. I pick up dead animals on the side of the road. That's the knacker's job. You could say I have a knack for it. That's why people say I'm unclean. If I had children, they wouldn't be allowed to marry anyone besides an executioner or a gravedigger. It's so ingrained in folk. A fella takes care of things they wouldn't want to handle themselves, and this is how they repay him. Can't even go to the tavern no more.
Have you been a gravedigger your whole life? Have you ever thought of changing your trade?
I did think about it once, if I'm honest. I wanted to be a knacker in Yitchin, but some fool with friends in high places got the job, though he can't even tell a shovel from a spade. That really pissed me off, so I said, fuck it. Why would I want to dig graves for people who don't appreciate my craft?
But you've always been here otherwise.
And what of it? You think I get bored here? Not recently, I don't. But I think I told you that already.
Unfortunately, I had to bury both my parents recently.
My condolences, lad.
Thank you. Just don't know if it was done right.
Did you witness their deaths?
Fortunately, they were killed in front of my eyes.
Understand that's never easy. If you closed their eyes and buried them in consecrated ground, you've nothing to worry about.
I dug their grave next to our smithy. We didn't have a church in our village.
Well, that can't be avoided sometimes. Don't let it bother you. As long as you picked the spot with good intentions, that's all that matters. I'm certain their souls went straight to heaven. You needn't worry. You did everything right, lad.
Ignatius, I'm gonna need your help.
Of course. How many are there? Where do you want to bury them? Shall we grind the teeth up, or do you want to take them away in your purse?
None of that. I have a different, slightly unusual request. Bonnie from Lower Semine sent me. We're looking for a saltpeter pit.
From Lower Semine? What pit?
A saltpeter pit.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that. What's it supposed to be? Pit to hell?
Yeah, something like that. Night, you hear the cries of tormented souls. Catch the whiff of sulphur.
Well, that I can't help you with.
Not to worry. It's actually just a hole with some rotting carcasses in it. These white crystals form in it. That's exactly what we're after.
You should have said you're looking for the pit I throw carcasses into. What's all this about Salty Peter? I'm going to go there anyway, so I'll take you there.
Really? That was easier than I thought.
Not even a chicken scratches in the dirt without hope of reward, though. You'll help me with something first. I have some collections from some Slatigo farmsteads, and I'd be a fool if I didn't use a helping hand. At least one day I can take it a bit easy.
You want me to help you with your grave digging business?
Why not? You look like a strong fella. You'll be a good helper.
I have a better idea. You tell me where I can find that pit, and I'll give you a nice piece of fresh meat for it.
I won't say no to that. Tell me what you have. Oh, aye, fresh meat. What a feast that'll make. Now, listen closely. That pit of yours lies at the end of a long journey that we'll take together on my wagon.
So you got meat out of me for nothing?
When I see how much you lot in Lower Semine are interested in it, I'm not just going to hand it to you on a plate. But thanks for the meat. Don't worry about a thing. Grave digging is a job like any other. Sooner or later, everyone needs our services. And if it wasn't for us knackers, folk would have to deal with their animal carcasses themselves.
Of course. I understand. I'm just a little worried about what people will say about me when they see me with you. I wouldn't like to lose the honour I've earned as squire to a nobleman.
Don't worry about what people say. They'll only strip you of your honour if you let them. So what then? Shall we take a nice little ride with my boys Snorter and Dragonfly here? Nice and early, at daybreak.
Let's get this over with then.
Didn't you understand me? We ain't going nowhere now. Like I said, be here at daybreak. That's between night and day. You understand?
There's some place I can wait for morning to come.
Of course, if you've got nothing better to do, you can sit here with me. If you know how to read, I have a book hidden in the outhouse I got of a dead fella. That'll make the time go faster. In fact, you can keep it. All I can do is admire all them fancy squiggles in it anyway.
And where can I sleep?
At the inn in Truskowitz. Get a good breakfast there, too. You'll need it to be at full strength. Here's a little something so you know I take care of my helpers. See you in the morning. Sacra. a kind master, eh? What? You have a kind master, eh? What? I wish you a pleasant morning.
I don't know if I'm completely ready for this. But let's get going.
The dew is still on the leaves. The roads are clear. You don't need your horse. I'll stable him here. It'll be heaven for him. In any case, Heaven's always close here. Hop on the wagon and Snorter and Dragonfly here will take care of us. Aesop? Got it all. Good.
Nothing left here.
And better move on. We've got a long journey ahead of us. Get yourself comfortable so your arse won't hurt. So, you say you're from Lower Samine, eh?
Not exactly. I'm not even from this region. I'm only doing some work for the miller.
I remember Crazel when he was still a wee lad. Even then he was a great big smart-ass. When I buried his parents, he was traipsing somewhere through the world. Maybe you heard what they say about Lower Samine round these parts. Crazel don't sell short measure, not that. He looks out for his reputation, but his helpers have been seen often in the villages after dark, looking fishy. Or during the day, in the pillories. Don't that bunny of yours belong to that gang too?
Unfortunately, she does. Crazel ordered Bonnie and her accomplice Zinnek to scrape saltpeter off the walls of the sties. And when they had a chance to loiter about in the yards here in the region, well, they made good use of the opportunity to line their purses.
Ay, ay, ay. What have I gotten myself into in my twilight years? Lower Samine's a thorn in the side for a lot of folk. Some on account of the competition. Some is just rubbed up the wrong way by that Crazel. Either way, all they need's the slightest excuse to grab their pitchforks. Go and grab the miller and shove his face right in his own millstone. Lazy bones. Whoa, boys, whoa! Come on. Come on! Are you deaf? Oh, they're acting stubborn again. Now listen, Henry. Here on the left side, you'll see the ruins of a cottage that's been abandoned for a few years.
It's mysterious. What treasures might be hidden there?
You'll soon see. I have a trap set inside the cottage. I wanted to lure a wolf into it, but that didn't work out. There's a deer rotting there unnecessarily. So hop in there and bring it to the wagon. Finally. At least we're not blocking the road too much.
Sick! Sit. Stay. Oh, Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
That was here sneaking around the stores. Hey, put that carcass down and get over here. You hear me?
What's going on, Ignatius?
Ah, I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving around here. They should go to Lower Samine to complain.
Two stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and lining their purses with silver too while they was at it. Some scruffy and dunger. You must be scruffy, eh?
I'm Henry, and those, names mean nothing to me.
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, they should have come to me. A passion for knacking is the only thing we have in common.
That's so. Well, prove it then.
Ignatius is telling the truth. There are all sorts of types causing trouble in these parts. Not just from Lower Semine. Ignatius and I thank you for taking on the job of guarding the roads, making sure that honest, if somewhat grubby tradesmen stay safe.
Aye, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So, thanks.
Really good work, lad. Well, time waits for no man. Let's all carry on with our duties, eh?
All right, listen. We'll be going then. If you happen to run into them two thieves, you tell us right away, got it?
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go, fellas. Maybe...
Want to keep going or not?
Much left for us to do here, eh?
Hopefully our luck will hold out, and we'll only be breaking the limbs of carcasses today. The next farm's just up ahead. Hop on, and let's go. Here we go, daughter. Don't worry. That was just a kind of little favour for me. Now we'll help the locals here in Jdar with their carcasses.
So far, I've just carried sacks. I already did that for the miller.
Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop them up and haul them off. I mean, you'll scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pigs started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
And then Satan himself appeared in the sky. Happens all the time.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy as, well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right. I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly. Yeah! Yeah!
Ugh. Jesus. This is disgusting.
Well, I wish you and your helper lots of luck today. May God bless you.
You too. You too.
Yeah. Ugh. And another.
Get over here so we can carry on.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
And what about this mysterious curse?
Oh, right. Slipped my mind. The watering spot, you said?
Aye. Take a look around. See if you find anything fishy.
Those pigs came here to drink. Where to now? Smell something upstream.
Blessings to you.
It really wasn't a curse. There are rotting carcasses in the water upstream from the watering spot. No wonder the pigs caught some disease.
Well, what do you know? I was right. I'll give you a hand. It'd take you all night on your own.
I took care of the carcasses.
Nice work.
Yeah, you'd eat that. They've been lying there God knows how long.
But nicely in the cold. There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, you won't be eating it, so don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Lads. Seeing as how you don't obey me, you're surely horsing around today. So far it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Ever since I started working for the miller, all I do is carry bloody sacks. I must have carried more than they could fill in skallets in a day.
It can always be worse. Someone might ask you to roll barrels. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then you've got to put down some creature, so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
I'm sorry, Ignatius, my friend, but you can't expect me to do that.
In that case, as soon as we get where we're going, you can just get off the wagon and go and look for that pit yourself. If you don't do what I tell you, you're useless to me. So I'll be useless to you too.
Maybe there's another way. I'll try to come up with something.
Ha! That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Vizar. I've heard they're both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me. Lazy bones.
God bless you.
They say you have some wild dog here.
Talk to Vysar about that. Farewell, my friend.
Vysar, my friend! What are you...
Oh, Sakra. Dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to?
Barking. It's coming from over there.
Where'd you come from?
Bonnie? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
First, tell me what you're doing here. And how come you're with that beast?
He's no beast. I came here to save him.
You mean steal him?
For him, it'll be a redemption from that horse and master of his. I'll take care of him, in place of my poor dead sniffer.
Bonnie... The gravedigger sent me to kill the dog. He's been paid to do it by the people whose livestock that beast killed. It's the last thing I need to do before he shows me the pit.
It's not the animal's fault. When Zenek and I were here last, I saw how old Vysarik treats him. He doesn't give him food, he abuses him. With a master like that, he won't last long. You wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick horseman, would you?
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how to save that dog. If you want to take him, I won't stop you.
You're a much better Christian than I thought you were. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before someone sees us together.
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair.
Hell.
Let's talk about the price.
All right, I'm listening. Finally, a reasonable sum. As you're doing business. Take care.
It's taken care of.
Taken care of? What do you mean?
The dog is dead. So, can we go to the pit now?
Dead, eh? And what are you so nervous about?
Well, it wasn't pleasant to watch. I did it exactly how you told me. Poisoned him.
Oh, aye. And how did it go exactly?
I dipped the meat in the poison. As soon as he ate it, it started devouring him from the inside until nothing was left of him. It was insane.
Insane, all right. And was there green foam coming from his mouth?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right. Henry, stop trying to make a fool of me. I know when someone's lying to me. Come on, what really happened?
I set the dog free. He didn't deserve to die.
For fuck's sake, didn't deserve to die? We were supposed to get rid of him, because that's just what he deserves.
Bonnie from the mill came and took the dog before we got to him.
Well, fuck me. How much more is that girl going to steal before she has enough?
Oh, she'll take better care of him than Baysar did. All he needs is to be fed properly, and he won't be dangerous anymore.
I surely fucking hope not. Because if he runs off and ravages something or someone again, then we didn't help at all. Let's go before we start looking suspicious.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy. Slowly. Have a bit of respect. Death always deserves respect, whether it's people or animals.
But there's hardly 3 heaps here. Is this really it? Are you yanking my pizzle again?
Of course not. True, it used to be one big pit. But then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits, throw some wet hay between them, it all rots better. And the better it rots, the more nitra you'll have. Are you going to take some right away?
I won't. The miller will probably send some people here.
Well, they'd better not dig it all up. That'd disturb the natural balance, see? And soon they'll find out there's no place to find saltpeter.
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable. They'll have to taste it.
You're going to taste it?
The only way I can be certain it really is saltpeter.
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I can't say I'm all that satisfied with your help, but I don't want you to think old Ignatius is an ungrateful bastard, so I have something here for you. Although, to tell the truth, you didn't much grow on me.
That's a shame. Because I thought you were a pretty good fella. In fact, I'm actually kind of fond of you in a way.
If you're trying to come out smelling of roses now, don't bother. Here's something that'll definitely come in handy if you ever need to go through all this again. Either with me or somewhere else.
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I have got to see. You didn't have to make such a feast of it.
Look at me. I'm a Lord's messenger to a taster of cadavers. Cold. Salty. This must be it. Whoa! There now.
Bless you.
When's the last time I ate something?